Film editing is often called the invisible art. It's a craft that disappears into the story. It guides the audience without calling attention to itself. We sit in a darkened theater, spies, lovers, distant galaxies. We rarely consider the thousands of decisions behind each moment. Each shot, each glance, each pause, carefully chosen and placed in sequence. This is the work of the editor. They are the final storytellers. They take raw, disjointed footage and sculpt it into a coherent, emotional, compelling narrative. Imagine a film as spoken words. The director, the cinematographer, provide the vocabulary, shots, angles, performances. At the very core of film editing are three fundamental concepts: the cut, the transition, and the sequence. The most common and powerful of these is the simple cut. It's the instantaneous change from one shot to another. This abrupt shift is the primary way we move through a film, and our brains have become incredibly adept at processing it. A cut can take us from a wide shot of a battlefield to a close-up of a soldier's fearful eyes. While the cut is the editor's workhorse, transitions are used to signify a more significant shift in time or place. The most classic transition is the dissolve, where one image gradually fades out while another simultaneously fades in, their images overlapping for a brief moment. This often suggests the passage of time or a connection between two different scenes or ideas. Another common transition is the fade, where the screen fades to black before a new scene fades in, a fade-in. This acts like a chapter break in a book, signaling a definitive end to one part of the story and the beginning of another, giving the audience a moment to breathe and reset. The relationship between a film editor and a director is one of the most intimate and vital collaborations in all of filmmaking. While the director is the captain of the ship, responsible for the overall vision of the film, the editor is the first mate who navigates the vast ocean of raw footage. This partnership often begins long before filming is complete, with the editor assembling scenes as they are shot. This lets the director see how the story is taking shape and make adjustments during production. This collaborative dialogue is fundamental to making a film. The director provides the raw material, hours upon hours of footage, often with multiple takes of every scene. The editor's first task is to watch everything, searching for the gems within the rough. They look for the strongest performances, the most visually compelling shots, and the subtle, unplanned moments of magic. One of the most fundamental principles of classical film editing is continuity editing. The goal of this technique is to create a smooth, seamless flow of action that makes the editing itself invisible to the audience. It is designed to maintain a coherent sense of space-time movement from one shot to the next, allowing the viewer to remain fully immersed in the story's world. To achieve this, editors follow certain rules, the 180-degree rule, which keeps characters on the same side of the screen. Match cuts, where the action carries perfectly into the next shot, are also key. In direct contrast to continuity editing is the montage. A montage strings short shots to compress time, convey information, and create thematic or emotional connections. Think of the famous Rocky training montages. Another rule-breaking technique is the jump cut. A jump cut is two sequential shots of the same subject with only slight camera variation. It creates a jarring leap forward in the image. When we think of film editing, we almost always picture the assembly of images. However, the work done on the soundtrack is equally important in creating a truly immersive cinematic experience. Sound editing is the art of selecting, assembling, and processing all the sounds that you hear in a film. This goes far beyond simply recording the dialogue spoken by the actors on set. In fact, a huge portion of a film's soundscape is constructed from scratch in post-production. The process begins with the dialogue. Actors are brought into a studio to re-record their lines. This process is called automated dialogue replacement, or ADR. Beyond dialogue, there is the world of sound effects, often referred to as Foley. This is the art of creating everyday sounds. Footsteps on gravel, the rustle of clothing, a door creaking open, in a studio, and adding them to the film. After the picture has been locked, meaning the sequence and timing of every shot is final, the film moves into one of the last and most transformative stages of post-production: color grading. This is the process of altering and enhancing the color of the motion picture. Think of it as painting with light. The colorist, working with the director, working with the cinematographer. They adjust brightness, they adjust contrast, they adjust hue of every single shot to create a cohesive and artistically expressive look. Color grading is not simply about making the image look pretty. It is a powerful storytelling tool that has a profound, often subliminal impact on the audience's emotional experience. The primary goal of color grading is to ensure visual continuity. Footage shot on different days, footage shot in different locations, footage shot with different lighting conditions. The colorist's first job is to balance these shots so that they match seamlessly, ensuring the color of a character's shirt doesn't inexplicably change, ensuring the tone of the sky doesn't inexplicably change in the middle of a scene. In the end, film editing is the art of alchemy. It is the magical process that transforms the leaden, disconnected fragments of raw footage into the gold of a finished film. An editor begins with hundreds of hours of material, a chaotic jumble of takes, angles, performances, through thousands of deliberate choices: where to cut, how long to hold a shot, what sound to use, which color to emphasize. They build a structure, find a rhythm, and uncover the emotional heart of the story. It is a journey of discovery, not just for the audience but for the filmmakers themselves, as the true nature of the film is often only revealed in the quiet darkness of the editing room. This emotional guidance is the editor's primary responsibility, to create the extraordinary and unforgettable experience we call movie magic.